We will now move to our next session, which is on integrity, realizing oneness, or Vaicharik Kumbh. If there's one thing that this year's Mahakumbh has proven, is that Bharat's oneness is not fading. It is ever evolving. Mahakumbh showed that Sanatan Dharma does not discriminate by caste, creed, or nationality. The original idea of Mahakumbh was always the thought of bringing all the sects together which believe that the truth is one, whether it's Advait or Buddhism. This Mahakumbh has made us realize that this inherent oneness is something that we have got and that we should cherish it, especially when there is an attempt to divide Bharat on various fault lines, even at the intellectual binaries. Here we have seen sects, caste, regions, genders, all people coming together at Triveni Sangam, becoming the real oneness. The real intellectual manthan is expected to spread in the society to meet the contemporary intellectual challenges, especially when there are attempts to divide North versus South, tribal versus non tribal. So, for this session, I would like to call on stage Sri Jayanandu Kumarji, National Convener of Pragna Pravah and National Executive Member of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. नंद कुमार जी आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है मंथन के मंच पे. Joining on the dais will be Shastre Khensur Rinpoche Jangpur Choiden. He is the Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation. So please we welcome you on the stage. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है रिंपोचे जी. This session will be moderated by Senior Journalist Anurag Punetha ji. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Sonam. Right from the beginning in the morning, Hitesh Shankar and Praful Ketkar used the word cricket terminology. It's called that this is happening like cricketers. So it's still happening. We have been told that the session would be somehow changed into the monologue by the speakers. Nankumaji was also told, but somehow again it changed. So it's a kind of a rapid fire questions, and probably you both are ready. There is a very interesting thing. I mean, two interestingly and difficult things in this moment in the entire Indian subconsciousness. One is to define the success of India's victory at T20 World Champions Trophy and the success of Kumbh. What happened, how it happened, how the UB government somehow pulled the things. And we have had Yogi Adityanath ji in the morning, then, and he deliberately and very in length told about this. So to cut the entire story short, Nandakumarji, I would begin with you. And I was happy to read your article probably a month before. And most of the people who have been reading about the Kumbh success story probably would not know that the Kumbh has had the socio-political effect on the Indian subconsciousness, right from the 1857's the Sepoy Mutiny, which we called it, to 1989 when Ram Janmabhoomi Andolan was somehow energized. You wrote so beautifully about the influence. In fact, you mentioned about Swami Dayanand Saraswati and Mahatma Gandhi before coming to India, and probably in the initial years of India, how he used the energy and the power of Kumbh to understand India, and he somehow told in successive years. So, can you tell us something about the brief history that how Kumbh has been able to cultivate the Indian subconsciousness, Indian spirituality into the subconsciousness of the nation and the world?
Namaskar Anurag ji, Namaskar Adraniya Rinpoche ji, and all distinguished guests. See, we cannot see or analyze a grand event which was continuing for millennia in isolation. It's a part of our ever continuing the Sanatana Itihas of Bharat. भारत के ये चिरंतन इतिहास से जुड़े हुए एक बात है जो हितेश जी ने अटल जी का जो कविता का उल्लेख करते हुए पिछले जो सेशन उद्घाटन सेशन उनको उन्होंने समाप्त किया, उस समय भी एक बात बताया था ये अखंड प्रवाह है। उस अखंड प्रवाह के हिस्सा इस रूप में ही हम इसको देखना चाहिए। वी कैनॉट सी इट इज इन आइसोलेशन, इसीलिए मैंने बताया था 2025 में शुरू किया हुआ एक प्रतिभास या फिनोमिनन नहीं है ये कुंभ मेला। कुंभ मेला कब शुरू हुआ ये किसी को पता नहीं। आई एम नॉट हियर टू टीच यू अबाउट द हिस्ट्री ऑफ कुंभ मेला राइट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग, बट इट इज देयर। एंड अनदर थिंग, कुंभ मेला represents the intrinsic unity which हिंदू संस्कृति और सनातन संस्कृति पूरे विश्व को जो बता रहे, वो यूनिटी का, वो एकता का, अखंडता का परिचायक है कुंभ मेला। और भारत के जो इतिहास से इसका जो संबंध, मैंने मेरा जो लेख में जो उन्होंने उल्लेख किया है उसमें जिक्र करने के लिए कोशिश किया था, हाउ कुंभ मेला influenced the independence struggle even. See, you may be knowing in 1856, 55-56, Kumbh Mela was in Haridwar. Many of you may be knowing because आप लोगों ने 1857 के जो इतिहास पढ़े होंगे और 1857 के संघर्ष के साथ पूज्य स्वामी दयानंद सरस्वती जी का संबंध क्या है, इसके ऊपर एक पुस्तक भी आया है, बहुत वेल रिसर्च्ड बुक रिटन बाय पिंडीदास। उसमें उन्होंने उल्लेख किया था पूज्य स्वामी इन हिज पूर्वाश्रम नेम मूलशंकर तिवारी जी, he was there in that Kumbh Mela with his 2 generation gurus, Virajanand ji and also Purnanand ji. They were there and they were talking to the youngsters, young devotees who were participating in the dip, holy dip, and also the Jawans, the soldiers who on leave participating in the Kumbh. उन्होंने देशभक्ति संबंधित विषयों के बारे में आए हुए लोगों को एक प्रकार से जो बात रखने के लिए कोशिश किया था। एंड इवन द मोस्ट इलस्ट्रियस लीडर्स ऑफ 1857, 1857 के जो नेता लोग, नानाजी पेशवा से लेकर तांत्या तोपे से लेकर सभी लोग उसी कालखंड में उस परिसर में थे, ये भी ये आ गया था। मतलब इट वाज एक प्रकार से इंस्पायर्ड, एक प्रकार से इंस्पिरेशन कुंभ मेला से लिया है, ऐसा इतिहास है। दूसरा, आप सभी को एक और बात भी मालूम होगा, महात्मा गांधी जी आफ्टर रिटर्निंग फ्रॉम साउथ अफ्रीका टू भारत, his almost first main popular social program, though he was not the organizer of that program, was Kumbh Mela or in Kumbh Mela. In 1916, he was there in the Kumbh Mela, and in that program, he met Puja Shraddhananda ji also. And many of you are quite aware about the fact, the first planning meeting and the first official program of Hindu Mahasabha was attended by none other than Mahatma Gandhi ji on the sidelines of Kumbh Mela. Now the people are not, आजकल ये बताने के लिए लोग एक प्रकार से हिम्मत नहीं दिखाते हैं, वो दबाने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं। हिंदू मेला के कुंभ मेला के साइडलाइन में हिंदू महासभा के जो पहले मीटिंग में श्रद्धानंद जी के साथ भाग लेने के लिए ही आए, ऐसा भी समझ सकते हैं। एंड इस प्रकार बहुत सारे जो इतिहास बताने के लिए हैं, भारत की स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के साथ भी कुंभ मेला जुड़े हैं, भारत के यूनिटी इंटीग्रिटी इसके साथ जुड़े हैं। ये एक सही ढंग से एक प्रतीक इस रूप में, एक सिंबल इस रूप में कुंभ मेला हमारे सामने है। इसको, इस स्पिरिट को आगे ले जाने का जो दायित्व एक प्रकार से यहाँ के वैचारिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हाथ में लिया है, मेरे ख्याल से ऑर्गेनाइजर और पंचजन्य बियॉन्ड कुंभ मेला द चर्निंग मस्ट गो ऑन, इस प्रकार का एक मैसेज लेकर इस प्रकार का कार्यक्रम अत्यंत श्लाघनीय है, अभिनंदनार्ह है, ऐसा मैं कहना चाहता हूँ।
ऑनरेबल रिंपोचे जी, मेरा सवाल आपसे है कि फॉर सेंचुरीज द हिंदू एंड द बुद्धिस्ट ट्रेडिशंस हैव इंटरट्वाइंड एंड engaged in intellectual and spiritual discourse. So how do you see this congregation of Kumbh and the Vaishari Kumbh. I mean, the Kumbh and the beyond, the kind of message normally it gives to the entire world.
Anurag ji,
Yeah.
thank you for your question. Thank you to the organizer. I mean, including both, including the Panchajanya. And thank you, J. Nandakumar ji. I listened to you. It was very interesting. The question that Anurag ji put forward is an important question. I do remember very clearly His Holiness the Dalai Lama saying in many occasions, this country, the India, is very different from different parts of the world. This country has produced all the different varieties of thinkers and the philosophy and philosophical tradition, and given a lot of kind of faith to the global community. And all these faith has been existing peacefully together for many, many centuries without any kind of inner clash. And upon that, this country has given space to the faith, those are kind of alien to the land, and have accommodated them. This is a very unique characteristic of this country. When we talk about the India, when we talk about Bharat, it's a very unique characteristic. Here, we may have Vaicharik Matbhed, but we know that we have to live together. And based on that, we have a Vyavaharik Samanata, that we have kind of doing 1,000 years, and we can continue with that. That is very important thing. There are other countries where only one ideology can exist, not other ideologies. It is unacceptable. But this country is not like that. This is a great unity that we have to think about. When we talk about the integrity, that is the integrity of the society and the community. That is the realization of the oneness. And His Holiness always says, what we need now is oneness of the entire humanity. If we cannot do this to the citizens of our own country, we cannot do it beyond that. So for that reason, we really need to know and realize our past and our present and our future. So from that point of view, I would like to say that as a kind of a representative of a Buddhist organization, a global Buddhist organization, we see India as the kind of motherland of Buddhism. Buddhism was born in this country. There is no other kind of a question on that. And from after being taken birth in this country, it has kind of spread so widely in the world. Even today, it is entering into new places where Buddha was never known and Buddha was never introduced. That is the greatness of this country's intellectual capability and cultural values. I do remember very clearly a very famous professor from Columbia University, Dr. Robert Thurman, used to say that Buddhism is very powerful. The emperors of Tibet, who were source of fear to all the neighboring countries in 6th century and 7th century. But then he knew that there is something very unique and valuable in India. I must import it. And he started to importing it. And as a result of it, what happened? In the next 1,000 years, the country ended up in being ruled by a Buddhist monk. That is the power of Buddhism. That is the Buddha's message, how it changes not just the individual, but the entire nation itself. So we need to know that it is a most important part of the kind of cultural value and tradition of this country. So if we have that kind of understanding, we will definitely always kind of realize the oneness, which reflected very well in the kind of Kumbh Mela. Of course, even if we talk about the kind of Sanatanis, within the Sanatani, there are a lot of differences in terms of the philosophy. Shaivites doesn't agree with the Vaishnavites. And kind of the Vedantis doesn't agree with the kind of Sankhyakis. And Vaisheshiks doesn't agree with the Mimamsaks. This is a kind of greatness of this country, the richness of this country. And in past, the scholars, acharyas, used to debate with each other. They don't come with the knife and they don't come with the weapon. They debate with each other and debate with respectful way. That is the kind of our value. And we need to continue these kind of ancient values to further prosper. Of course, we need modern technology, we need modern knowledge, we need modern kind of improvement and kind of development, but we cannot afford to forget our past. So there lies the kind of secret of how we can build up the oneness with having the kind of variations, with having the differences. Because the future is we have to live together. I may be dead, but people, those are growing here, have to live together with the other neighbors. There is no choice. It is in our favor, it is in the favor of the future generation to live peacefully in a friendly manner.
So can I interject and ask you the second question? I mean, what comes into my mind that, so what you're talking about, the premise of the religion of Sanatan Dharma and the Buddhism, the message of oneness, has this Kumbh been able to convey the message to the divided, agitated and fragmented world? When we are discussing lot, we are violent prone world. This Kumbh has been able to give successfully a message of oneness, peace and the value of debate, discourse.
I think to some extent, yes. One thing that amazed me is capability of this nation. We always looked up towards the West as a kind of a most developed and the backward. But if we kind of decide single-mindedly to do something, we are capable to do anything. So the way Kumbh was organized was amazing. No one organized such a large-scale event in a global level. No one. That India is capable to do that. That shows that India is capable to do anything. But the thing is, we need to have a kind of decision and kind of a firm decision to get there. So that really amazes me. So the firm decision, what should be? To lead the world, we need to lead the humanity. To lead the humanity, we need to make the humanity feel oneness. That we can do. We have the capability to do that. But others doesn't have. That advantage, what we have experienced, what we have learned through our own living. Okay. So that is the biggest thing that will help us.
Okay, now I come to you again, and a lot of people are talking about the success of Kumbh and why people came in such a number. And here, one of the senior official of the UP government is sitting over, and I was listening. I tell you one story, and then I will ask you the question. I was listening to the one senior official, and probably he was interacting with the media and other people because UP government gave a lot of grant and other things in promoting and preserving and let's say the message of Kumbh. So he asked me कि ये कुंभ इतना पॉपुलर क्यों हो गया, लोग इतनी ज्यादा तादाद में क्यों आ गए? तो उन्होंने कहा सर यूपी सरकार ने बहुत प्रचार किया। तो उन्होंने बड़े टंग इन चीक रिमार्क दिया, बोले प्रचार तो हम हर चीज का करते हैं, सरकार की पॉलिसी है, हम तो ऐड तो हर उसमें देते हैं, लेकिन लोग हमारा ऐड देखते हैं और दूसरे दिन भूल जाते हैं, नहीं आते हैं। लेकिन कुंभ के साथ ऐसा नहीं हुआ। सो द क्वेश्चन कम्स टू यू दैट व्हाई द कुंभ हैज बिकम सो सक्सेसफुल? Is it mere because of the UP government or let's say government, central government as well, the media campaign or the prachar or something else? I mean, what gives the mass? मतलब let's say कि पूरी दुनिया देश में ये मैसेज किया गया कि इस बार तो जाना है हमको कुंभ में. So what according to you is the reason?
देखिए, this question was very clearly answered by Acharya Mithilesh Nandini Sharan ji in his remarks. He said very clearly that भारतीय लोग प्रचार से प्रभावित नहीं होते हैं, विचार से प्रभावित होते हैं। और विचार पक्का जो समझ गया है तो उसके पीछे, अगर उन्होंने ये उदाहरण भी बताया था मोना अमावस्या का जो दिन में जो मिशाप हुआ था, कुछ अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट, बट द पीपल एंड द डिवोटीज अटेंडेड in an increased number in the next day and onwards.
And with the same spirit.
Same vigor and all those things. And they are saying, okay, it has happened, now we have to go. So that's it. मदन मोहन मालवीय जी का एक उदाहरण हमेशा हम कहते हैं, किसी फॉरेन representative has asked him, how much you are spending for this type of, for propaganda and everything for conducting this type of a big event. उन्होंने बताया एक पंचांग का जो कितना दाम है उतना, यानी एक आना
सम 3 पैसा कुछ आना,
उतने पैसा ही है ऐसा। इसका मतलब it is in our blood, this type of thing. And another important matter is that what which we have learned through our practices, हमारे हिंदुत्व से रिलेटेड जो कितने भी प्रैक्टिसेस है, वो सनातन से लेकर सनातन के अंदर जो आते हैं, उसमें हम जो सीख रहे हैं, we are all one, जो रिम्पोचे जी ने जो बताया था, यूनिटी, एकता। तो इस एकता को एक प्रकार से प्रदर्शित करने वाला एक कार्यक्रम में, इस बड़ा इवेंट में जाना, ये सामान्य लोगों के मन में है। इस विषय को आगे बढ़ाते हुए, इस विचार का जो पक्ष को आगे बढ़ाते हुए, प्रज्ञा प्रवाह भी मैं जो रिप्रेजेंट करता हूं इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, हमने भी इस कुंभ मेला को बैकग्राउंड बनाते हुए 2 वैचारिक कुंभ भी इस बार किया था। उस वैचारिक कुंभ, एक तो जुना अखाड़ा से मिलकर युवा विचारक कुंभ ऐसा करके कार्यक्रम 2 दिन का कार्यक्रम किया, और दूसरा एक कार्यक्रम विद्वत कुंभ इस रूप में। उसमें हमने पूरे विश्व के सामने ये मैसेज, जो मैसेज हिंदू वैचारिक क्षेत्रों के द्वारा जो विश्व के सामने रखना चाहते हैं, उसके ऊपर गहरा जो बहस किया, चर्चा किया, और उस दोनों वैचारिक कुंभ एक प्रकार से सक्सेस ही था। केवल प्रज्ञा प्रवाह ने किया ऐसा नहीं है, और भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जस्ट लाइक सेवा विभाग और सक्षमा सेवा के क्षेत्र में जो काम किया था, उस प्रकार शिक्षा उत्थान न्यास ने एक ज्ञान कुंभ किया था। See, ultimately Bharat is a land of gyan, knowledge. The very name Bharat is also, it is very much related to ज्ञान। ज्ञान में रत लोग, ज्ञान में रत लोग जहां रहते हैं उस जगह को का नाम है भारत। इसलिए उस अर्थ पर एक ज्ञान कुंभ का आयोजन उन्होंने किया। इसका बहुत अच्छा एक रिजल्ट भी ऐसा कह सकते हैं। उसके बाद एक बड़ा अभियान अभी भारत में, पूरे भारत में चल रहा है। भारत का जो नाम सही भारत, उस भारत नाम से ही भारत को बुलाना चाहिए, किसी आंग्ल शब्द से नहीं बुलाना चाहिए, ऐसा करके एक अभियान भी अभी शुरू हो गया है। इस प्रकार इस बार का जो कुंभ मेला का जो आफ्टर इफेक्ट डाउन साउथ में भी बहुत अच्छी तरह आ रहा है। आई एम फ्रॉम साउथ इन केरला। केरला आपको मालूम है कि उस प्रकार के विचारधारा का ज्यादा प्रभाव है। उस विचार का जो प्रभाव रहने वाले केरल से इस बार जो संख्या पार्टिसिपेट किया है, इट वाज समवॉट माइंड बॉगलिंग नंबर हैज पार्टिसिपेटेड फ्रॉम केरला, lakhs have participated. Not only that, many of the जो बहुत पहले बंद हुए माघ मेला जैसा कार्यक्रम अभी शुरू हो रहा है केरल के अंदर। भारतपुड़ा करके एक नदी है, आपको मालूम होगा। पूरे विश्व में भारत के नाम पर एक नदी है तो वो मेरे केरल में है, उसका नाम है भारतपुड़ा। उस भारतपुड़ा के तट में माघ मेला करके कार्यक्रम शुरू हो रहा है। एंड अनदर थिंग, जिस विचारधारा के लोगों ने ये बात प्रचारित करने के लिए कोशिश किया, कुंभ मेला वगैरह तो अंधविश्वास वगैरह करते थे, उस विचारधारा में पूरे जिंदगी समर्पित किए हुए एक बड़ा नेता इस बार, ऐसा बताना ठीक नहीं है फिर भी मैं बताना पड़ता है, महामंडलेश्वर बन गया है। जूना अखाड़ा हज बीन इसका इंसेप्शन केरल में भी शुरू हो गया है। इस प्रकार का जो परिवर्तन इसके वजह से होगा, एंटी कुंभ मेला प्रचार, एंटी हिंदुत्व प्रचार, एंटी सनातन प्रचार अभी इस साल अभी जो बहुत ज्यादा होना प्रारंभ किया है। लेकिन स्वाभाविक रूप में केरल में भी परिवर्तन आ रहा है एक प्रकार से, ये भी इस कुंभ मेला का एक उदाहरण स्वरूप में बता सकते हैं। तीर्थ यानी क्या है? वो संवाद का भूमि है, विचार मंथन का भूमि है। पूज्य शंकराचार्य जी ने एक्सप्लेन किया है, वो तीर्थे तीर्थे निर्मलम योगी वृंदम, वृंदे वृंदे ब्रह्म तत्वानुवादम, वादे वादे जायते तत्वबोधा, बोधे बोधे भासते चंद्रचूड़ा। जो तीर्थ कौन सा है? तीर्थ यानी जहां अच्छे लोग, विद्वान लोग, मुनि लोग, ऋषि लोग एकत्रित आते हैं, विश्व के बारे में, मनुष्य के बारे में, उनके भविष्य के बारे में सोचना, इसके लिए सार्थक संवाद करते हैं। इस भूमि को तीर्थ कहते हैं। उस प्रकार से कुंभ में भी उस प्रकार के बहुत सारे संवाद हुए हैं। We have got that rich heritage of संवाद. It also used to be reawakened. एक प्रकार से पुनर्जागृत करने का भी आवश्यकता है। इसलिए मैं फिर से एक प्रकार से कंग्रेचुलेट करता हूं पांचजन्य और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इस प्रकार का एक इनिशिएटिव लेने के लिए। दिस विचार, दिस संवाद के इस परंपरा, इसको आगे ले जाने की आवश्यकता है, ऐसा मुझे कहने के लिए।
एक आखिरी सवाल, हालांकि अब इंडिकेशन है कि अब सत्र को समाप्त करना है, लेकिन व्हाट हैज बीन योर पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस वेल participating in this Kumbh by initiating the traditional Tibetan practices to interact with the local populace and the Mahamandaleshwar, to sadhus, to heretics? What has been your personal experience?
You see, Anurag ji, I was in the Kumbh Mela for a very short time.
Okay.
I didn't have a kind of really good kind of time to interact with the Mahamandaleshwars and then kind of important religious figures. But my visit to the Kumbh Mela was itself a kind of memorable. This Kumbh Mela's visit was my second visit. I had a kind of great privilege and blessings to be in the Kumbh Mela at Trimbakeshwar long time ago. I was there with His Holiness Dalai Lama, and I assisted him in his Kumbh Mela activities. And then this time I came here to participate in an event as I was kind of invited by the organizer to the event. It was a kind of quite mesmerizing to see a kind of ocean of human beings moving together in a kind of such a orderly manner without any kind of a problem. So that was a kind of really mesmerizing to see. And I saw the kind of evening lights when I was passing through. And so those are the quite good experiences. And then whatever event that we have joined here, it was good to be part of the event, because I saw that mandala display and the monks doing kind of prayers and rituals. So we used to have kind of religious gatherings in the name of Kalchakra initiation, mainly done by His Holiness Dalai Lama. So it kind of make me remember those things when I used to go there. But the big thing here was it was kind of many hundred times bigger than those kind of events. That is the unique part of it. And with such a huge event, everything moving so kind of smoothly, without kind of any kind of bad incidents and those things. Those are kind of wonderful things to hear about. And we have been listening to the narratives from all the different media houses from time to time. It was wonderful to know that.
Okay, on this note, we have to wrap up the show, and because the time is up. But I thought to speak to you about the kind of effect that Kumbh has had over the decades, almost like the entire century, the last century. 1915, you talked about, in 30s, and probably 54, in 1977, the post-emergency period, in 1989, when the Ram Janmabhoomi movement was gaining the ground. और ये पिछले 2-3 सालों में, पिछले साल में जब हुआ था 18 में, तब कैसे रहा है. योगी जी ने तो खैर आज इसके बारे में बताया है, बट अब समय की वादिता है. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका. Thank you very much for both of you to come on the stage and be the part of this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. To felicitate our guest, I would like to call upon on stage Shri Arun Kumar Goyal ji and Malini Avasthi ji. Please come on the stage and present a token of appreciation and gratitude to our esteemed guest.